pick up her too. So you'll get two classes in one, right? Okay. So Visio, I know Visio is there. Oh, it's right there. Okay, start Visio. Basic flowchart. Okay, so no secret how to start. Just drag and drop that. Don't worry about the colors, fonts right now. You can fix them all later. Just do it any way you can. My technique is to kind of put it here so I can expand in this direction as well as lower both. And just type start. Then I need to define my variables. That's done in the custom 4, which I call preparation symbol. And can everybody see that the central line is aligning it in the middle with the other shape? Can you see the vertical line? Yeah. So that's how you can align them together actually. And if you want to make it a little bigger, generally that helps. You can realign it then. So let's see what variables we have in this. So you tell me and I'll type them here. So what variables do we need here?
Pay rate.
Pay rate, very good. What else? Hours worked. And? Salary, exactly. We don't need a variable for 40, we'll just type it. Okay? And 1.5, we'll just type it as is. So those three are needed at least. Okay? All right. So what do we need to get? We have the get step now, the data step. What do we need to get from the user?
Pay rate, hours worked.
Hours worked and pay rate. So you can get them in any order, doesn't really matter. So get hours worked. And when that happens, what I do is I just make the shape a little bigger and realign it. And you can just kind of do that. Second is get the pay rate, right? And I don't, in Visio, I don't really do it again. I just copy it, Control C, Control V. And you just get pay rate. Visio is really very good in that sense. You can copy and paste the shapes. So we got that. Now we have to have a basis of deciding. I have the hours worked. I have a basis of deciding whether it's less than or equal to 40 or not. That's done by a decision symbol called this guy over here, diamond. So that's equivalent to this right there. Okay? So inside that I type hours worked less than or equal to 40. And once again I can enlarge my shape. Actually U should be there, right? Let's show you. And need to enlarge it just a little bit more. Sometimes people put a question mark there because it's going to evaluate to true or false. I think book says evaluate to yes or no. So yes is true, no is false, that kind of thing. Okay, does. So this is going to have two branches. Doesn't matter which one is which, either true or false. So if it is true, okay, at this point I think I should start lining them up. Okay, save. Okay, so salary calc flowchart. So I save it. Okay, so connect them very simple. Connector, 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 connector. Okay, back to pointer. So this could have two outputs, and now I need a little bit more space on the other side, so I'm gonna take that and move it just a little bit on this side. Okay, so now this didn't get selected. There you go. So either I can, okay, sorry, undo, need more room. Okay, good.
How do you move that over?
Oh, just very easy. Okay, horse. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Something happened here. Just draw a box around all of these and just use the arrow key. Using left, right, top, and down arrow, you can move them. Yeah. Or do Control A, it'll get selected. If you want to select all of them, otherwise you can do individual checks too. So before I do anything else, if this is true, I do this calculation, okay? If this is false, I do this calculation. So I do have two calculation steps, depending upon whether this is true or false. So I put one on the left and Control C, one on the right. It's not necessary to do that. You can do one. There are a number of ways to do it, but okay, I'll put one here. Okay, and then first I connect them to show you which one is, at least the way I'm doing it. Okay, come on. And I type here true. Okay. So what formula should I be typing here? Speak the formula so I can type it.
Salary equals pay rate times hours worked.
Exactly. Very good job. So if this is true, computer does one task. Well, let's see the false branch now. To type into this, just double click on that edge I just did. And we can make this a little bigger because our formula is going to be a little bit bigger. Just do that. So what should I type here? Speak for me. Salary equals?
Equals 40 times pay rate plus hours worked minus
Just a slow. Can't type that fast. Okay, now.
react pay rate plus
Hours.
these hours worked
Minus 40
times 1.5
times pay rate, right? Very good. Excellent. Okay, so after computer does this, it's going to have to join together to print, right? And the joining, the way joining is done, we put a little circle here and we join it this way, that this branch joins here. This is called a connector symbol, and this joins here. And there will be another one from there going to the print step. And we're going to keep it simple. In the real pseudocode flowchart, we might add more steps, but we're just going to keep it simple here. So what do I do here? What's the printing step? What do I print here?
salary.
Yeah, print salary, exactly. Very good. And as far as logical thing is concerned, this is end, right? And I'll just connect the leftover stuff. Print salary. That's my flowchart. Okay. So analyze, find out what input and outputs are, do the flowchart. For the most part, that's not very hard. Okay, I'm going to give you a copy of that. So did everybody see that? It's not very hard to do flowchart in Visio. It's pretty easy actually. Because you can, if you're going to need this shape 5 times, you can just copy and paste. You don't have to do it every time. goes very fast actually. Okay, if this color is not good for printing, which probably it isn't unless you have a color printer, which we don't. So I'll do Control A, selects everything, and I go, okay, maybe I can go here somewhere. There must be change shape. Okay, something about shapes here. Format shape, yeah, there you go, I got it. Format shape, and I could change the fill. Generally I like no fill, and line may be a solid line but different color. I like black color, comes out much better. Okay, but then I have to change the font inside. So okay, so I can Control A. I can choose the fonts here. Font color black, and if you make them bold, you may have to rearrange the shapes. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that comes out more printable. I usually don't print from Visio. What I do Control A and then copy, and I start a Microsoft Word document. It's a little bit easier to print from Microsoft Word document. Paste there, and that comes out pretty nicely actually. So let's say flow chart for salary program. And make sure you write down what the analysis I did. If you don't want to write down, take out your camera phone, take a picture. Don't really care. Yeah, do it right now. I have no problem with that. Don't be shy. Take a picture of the board. You are not the first one. My Japanese students started to do that in 1997. I'd write anything on the board, they'll come take a picture. So. Okay, let me print a copy for you. California, we have a lot of Japanese students. Ready with technology. Like physics professor, math professor, they post solution inside a glass board, right? Have anybody seen that? I don't know whether they do that here. So other students are standing there writing down on a piece of paper. They'll come take a picture. Okay, our printer is not working too well, but I think we can complete it. And besides, I'll post that on YouTube. Yeah, I have technique for that. I'm going to take help. Yeah, just lay it out. This is really bad. You just need to shape it. The technique is to shape this. Use up the last. Okay, go ahead and write pseudocode for this. For the diamond, use the if. Just take a piece of paper. So before the diamond, you declare it anyway. For diamond, use if, just like I did on the board. Couple of people got a bad copy of it, yeah? Actually, let me see first if it's even doing that. That improved a lot. Lucky guys, you got the best copy. Okay. So pseudocode for this, for the interest of time, I'm just going to add it on the board. So pseudocode for this is this. I'll just add it to the board here. Start. Period. Any order doesn't matter. Hours worked. Salary. Get hours worked. Get period. Order doesn't matter. Any order. Order doesn't matter. Any order. Okay? If hours worked, let me make sure my capitalizations are correct. This is not part of the pseudocode. So I'll erase everything that's not part of the pseudocode. Have to have the word then. If hours worked, this is the condition being tested. Then, have to have the word then. Don't forget that. In fact, there are languages that have the word then, like Visual Basic, actually require the word then. Else doesn't need a condition. Hours. Just capitalize this one. And if, and then prints out. Okay? All right. Now we do the JavaScript translation of that. So in JavaScript, you don't need the start. By the way, your book mentions main method. They are assuming that every language has a main method. That's not true. JavaScript doesn't have main method unless you want to stick one by yourself. What this lady did, who wrote the book, she had a Java book, and she deleted all the Java code, replaced that by the pseudocode, and she got a book. So main method and class, those are in Java, not in necessarily other languages. So that's the limitation the book has, unfortunately. But, okay. So JavaScript translation in the red here. No code needed. This will be var pay rate. This will be var hours worked. This will be var salary. And I need one thing that's not in the pseudocode, the BR, because I'm going to need a line break somewhere. So we stick some extra stuff in there. The line break. How do I do this one? This step. We use prompt for that. So how I get the hours worked in JavaScript? On the left hand side is what?
That's true.
No, I want to get hours. I want to do this one in JavaScript. So what will be on the left hand side?
Hours worked.
Hours worked, exactly. One multiplied by prompt. Hours is a number, so I need to multiply by 1. And there, I say simply enter number of hours worked. Enter hours worked. That's the first argument, comma, something like type here. And the same way you can do the pay rate, okay? Same way, input for pay rate. And when we type it, we'll show you. Okay? If and else in JavaScript is pretty simple. The word then is not used. If you use it in the lowercase, so if hours worked is less than or equal to 40, then is not required. Then is replaced by a curly brace. In the same line or next line, formula remains as is, except the semicolon. Curly brace close, else, curly brace, and if it's not required, formula remains as is, curly brace closed, and then that's it, document all right element. So then is replaced by left curly brace, and then just curly brace match with curly brace. That's it. We'll do that in JavaScript now. And get a copy of my file. So get me a copy of my file. And all this is being recorded, so you'll see it. Although my voice over here won't come out so good. Voice will come out good only here. But we have what we have. Okay. Okay. Get my template file, copy. And I can just paste right here. Paste. Change the name. Salary program. Right click, add with Notepad++. Now I just start to write the code. So var hours, just have to be consistent, worked, var pay rate, var salary. BR is needed in JavaScript, not needed in pseudocode and flowchart. Okay, get either one hours worked. So prompt enter hours worked, comma, type here and I can just copy and paste that and do the pay rate. Just change the wordings. So pay rate here, enter hourly pay rate, lowercase if, expression in the parentheses remains the same, less than or equal to 40, no then in JavaScript, just a curly brace in the same line or next line. And generally curly brace have to match. Every round brace left will match with the right, every curly brace left will match with the right. In programming language, except one silly programming language called Lisp, we never have unmatched parentheses or braces or square brackets. Everybody clear about that? No, guys in the back, wake up. For every left curly brace, you're going to have a right curly brace. No unmatched parentheses or curly braces or square brackets. If you remember that, you are successful already like in 10 or 20 different programming languages. There's only one silly programming language that has unmatched braces called Lisp. Don't worry about that. Formula is very simple. Salary equal to hours worked multiplied by pay rate, semicolon. Then I do my else, curly brace. Since has a matching curly brace, I put that in there. And then formula is a little different. $40 multiplied by pay rate plus hours worked minus 40, that's the overtime hours, multiplied by 1.5 multiplied by pay rate and the semicolon. And then I just print document dot write ln your salary, put a $sign plus salary BR, just in case I want to add more things later. So okay, save the file. And one technique I use, everybody pay attention to this technique. I double click on each variable and see through the document that spelling is not misspelled. So our works lights up now everywhere it has been used. So it looks like spelling is correct here, correct here, correct here, correct here. So I just eyeball the spelling that way. For example, if I made it lowercase here, which will be a interpreter error, well, I can see it that it's lowercase. So lighting up doesn't mean it's correct, but you can kind of eyeball the thing. Okay, and then I do the same thing with the pay rate. So it looks like correct here, correct, correct, correct. So all four match. Eyeball the salary. Yeah, correct. And BR we just use only one place. So that way you can reduce the case sensitivity errors that you might have done. Okay. In the beginning, if you're not comfortable mixing upper and lowercase, except the JavaScript things, those if they are uppercase you have to use uppercase. But your variable you can all type them in either all upper or all lower. Okay. So that way you don't have that problem actually. Okay. So I'm going to save it, run, launch in Firefox. Hey, I got lucky this time. No errors. So let's do some hand calculation. So let's say hours worked is 35, and we're going to keep math simple, by the way, guys. $10. So what will be the salary in that case? 350. 10 multiplied by 35. 350. So let me see if I get 350 or not. So 35. Okay. 10. Hey, you got it. See? So that means in that calculation, 35 less than or equal to 40 was true, right? So if this is true, it does this one. And it did. 10 multiplied with 35, 350, and we got this out of 350. Is that clear to everyone? How computer made the decision for us? It actually figured out that, hey, this is true actually. This is true. And we executed the first part. Part directly under if. In the pseudo, in the flowchart, it was on the left. So let's copy that. Okay, let's do the other part. More than 40. This time, I'm going to say 45 hours. Pay rate, I'm going to keep 10 still. Salary is 475, and that makes sense that $10 here, so 400 came from here. And 1.5 multiplied by 10 is how much? 1.5, not half, point half. 15. And extra hours were how many? 5. 45 minus 5 multiplied by 15 multiplied by 575. That's how we get 475 there. Okay. In my day, there were no calculators. I had to do math 90% of the time in my head, which I still remember, fortunately. Okay, this is it really. I'm going to put that into Microsoft Word, which is a little bit better, print-wise. Or press F10. Okay, so we have completed 3 things: flowchart, pseudocode I did on the board, JavaScript code, we ran it, you saw the example of running it. That's how computer can make decision. All right, recording I'm going to stop now.